Commander Peterson barely looked at the soldier, cleaning the Barrett 050 in the corner of the weapons room. Just another regular cleaning job. But when he saw the small badge on her uniform and read 3,200-meter confirmed hit, he stopped right where he was. Soldier, that's impossible. No one has made a shot at that distance. The weapons room at Base Freedom was always busy during the afternoon cleaning time, with dozens of soldiers cleaning, checking, and getting their weapons ready for the next day's work. Commander Robert Peterson had been doing his weekly checkup tour, walking through the building with his usual careful eye, looking at the condition of equipment and the behavior of the soldiers under his command. In the far corner of the weapons room, almost hidden behind a row of weapon shelves, sat a lone figure carefully taking apart a Barrett M82, a 150 caliber sniper rifle. The soldier worked with the kind of exactness that showed years of practice. Each piece carefully cleaned and checked before being set aside in perfect order. Staff Sergeant Maya Shadow Rivera had been doing this same routine every day for the past 8 months since arriving at Base Freedom. The Barrett 050 was her weapon, her job, and in many ways her closest friend during a military career that had taken her to some of the most dangerous places on Earth. Maya's way of cleaning weapons was almost extreme. Every piece of the Barrett was taken apart, cleaned with perfect care, checked for wear or damage, and put back together with the kind of attention to detail that most soldiers save for pre-deployment checks. The process took her nearly 3 hours each day, but Maya thought it was time well spent. The Barrett M82A1 was more than just a rifle. It was a perfect tool capable of hitting targets at distances that challenged the laws of science. Weighing nearly 30 pounds and firing .050 caliber bullets, it was designed for the kind of long-range perfect shooting that required not just shooting skills, but an understanding of bullet paths, weather, and science that went far beyond basic military training. Maya had been assigned to Base Freedom as part of a special sniper team supporting counterterrorism work throughout the area. Her official job was watch duty and perfect shooting, providing long-range fire support for special operations missions that required taking out high-value targets at extreme distances. But Maya's reputation went far beyond her current job. In military circles where such things mattered, her name was spoken with the kind of respect saved for legends. Not because of her personality or leadership. Maya was quiet, almost invisible in most social settings, but because of what she could do with a rifle at distances that most people couldn't even see clearly. Commander Peterson had been walking through the weapons room with his helper, Lieutenant Colonel Anderson, talking about regular paperwork matters when something caught his side vision. The soldier in the corner was working with the kind of step-by-step exactness that showed serious professional skill. But what drew his attention was the collection of small badges and qualification pins on her uniform. Most soldiers wore the standard set of military decorations, unit patches, rank signs, basic qualification badges that showed their military job specialty. But Maya's uniform carried extra markings that Commander Peterson found interesting. There were qualification badges he didn't recognize, unit patches from groups he'd heard of but never worked with, and several small pins that showed special training he couldn't immediately identify. "Carry on, soldier," Commander Peterson said as he walked up to Maya's spot, using the standard phrase that showed his checkup was routine and didn't require her to stop working. Maya looked up briefly, responded to the commander with proper military respect, and went back to her work. Her response was professional, but short, exactly what would be expected from a soldier focused on finishing an important job. Commander Peterson was about to continue his tour when his eye caught one particular badge on Maya's uniform. It was small, easy to miss with a quick look, but the writing made him stop mid-step and read it again to make sure he understood what he was seeing. 3,200-meter confirmed hit. The numbers didn't make sense. Peterson had been in the military for over 25 years, had worked with some of the most elite units in the American military, and had never met anyone who claimed to have made a confirmed hit at that distance. The longest confirmed sniper shot in military history, as far as he knew, was much shorter than 3,200 meters. "Soldier, that's impossible. No one has made a shot at that distance." Maya looked up from her work, her face showing mild surprise at the commander's comment. She followed his eyes to the badge he was reading and understood what had caught his attention. "Sir, The shot was confirmed by multiple observers and recorded by Mission Command. All paperwork is classified, but the shooting did happen as shown. Commander Peterson stared at the young woman who had just calmly claimed to have made what would be the longest confirmed hit shot in military history. Maya appeared to be in her late 20s with the kind of calm manner that suggested someone comfortable with high-stress situations, but there was nothing about her appearance that showed superhuman abilities. Soldier, I want to see your service record, and I want to understand how someone makes a 3,200-meter shot when most snipers consider 1,500 meters an extreme shooting. Sir, my complete service record is classified above my clearance level to discuss, but I can provide general information about my training and qualifications if that would be helpful. Lieutenant Colonel Anderson, who had been listening to the conversation with growing amazement, stepped forward with his tablet. Commander, I can pull up her basic service information if you'd like to review it. Do it. Anderson accessed the personnel database and began reading Maya's basic military information. What he found was a collection of special schools, advanced training programs, and unit assignments that painted a picture of someone whose military career had been anything but routine. Sir, Staff Sergeant Rivera graduated from Army Sniper School with the highest shooting scores in her class. She's completed advanced courses in long-range perfect shooting, bullet calculation, and special reconnaissance. Her unit assignments include deployments with the 75th Ranger Regiment, Delta Force support operations, and classified missions with groups that don't appear in the standard database. Commander Peterson absorbed this information while studying Maya, who had continued working on her Barrett throughout the conversation. Her manner remained calm and professional, but he was beginning to understand that he was looking at someone whose abilities went far beyond the average soldier. Rivera, explain to me how someone makes a 3,200-meter shot. What are the technical requirements for that kind of perfect shooting? Maya put down the bolt carrier group she had been cleaning and looked directly at Commander Peterson. Her response showed the kind of technical knowledge that proved serious skill rather than casual familiarity with long-range shooting. Sir, a 3,200-meter shooting requires understanding multiple things that affect bullet path over long distances. Weather factors include wind speed and direction at multiple heights, air thickness changes, temperature differences, and air pressure changes. Bullet considerations include bullet drop compensation, spin drift effects, and the Coriolis effect caused by Earth's rotation. She paused, judging whether the commander wanted more technical detail, then continued. The shot also requires a complete understanding of the target's movement patterns, exact range guessing using multiple measurement techniques, and the ability to keep steady positioning for long periods while waiting for best weather conditions. Commander Peterson realized he was listening to someone who understood long-range shooting at a level that exceeded most teachers he'd met. But understanding the theory was different from making a shot that would establish a world record. Rivera, tell me about the 3,200-meter shooting. What were the circumstances, and how did you manage to make that shot? Maya's face became more guarded, and she glanced at Lieutenant Colonel Anderson before responding. Sir, the shooting occurred during a classified operation. I can provide general information about the technical parts, but specific details about the mission, target, and location are above my clearance level to discuss without proper permission. Anderson checked his tablet and confirmed Maya's statement. Commander, her deployment records show multiple classified operations, and her complete file requires special access that we don't have available here. But Commander Peterson wasn't satisfied with paperwork limitations. He'd found something that challenged his understanding of what was possible in modern warfare, and he planned to get answers. Rivera, I'm giving you permission to discuss the technical parts of that shooting. I want to understand how American military abilities have advanced to the point where 3,200-meter shots are possible. Maya considered the commander's request carefully before responding. Military rules required her to protect classified information, but discussing technical abilities might be okay if it served real military purposes. Sir, the shooting occurred in mountain land that provided the height difference necessary for extreme long-range shooting. The target was still for a long period, allowing time for weather analysis and bullet calculation. Weather conditions were perfect with little wind change and excellent seeing ability. But how do you even see a target at 3,200 meters. That's over 2 miles away. Sir, the Barrett M82A1 can be equipped with advanced scopes that provide enough magnification for target identification at extreme ranges. Combined with laser distance-finding equipment and bullet computers, it's possible to hit targets at distances that exceed normal seeing abilities. Commander Peterson was beginning to appreciate the difficulty of what Maya had done. Modern technology had clearly advanced sniper abilities beyond what he understood, but the human part, the skill required to combine all these systems into a successful shot, was still extraordinary. Rivera, how long did it take you to prepare for that shot? Sir, the actual shooting required about 4 hours of preparation. This included range guessing using multiple methods, weather watching, bullet calculation, and waiting for best conditions. The shot itself was the result of extensive planning rather than a quick shooting. 4 hours. You stay in position for 4 hours to make one shot. Yes, sir. Extreme long-range perfect shooting requires patience and careful timing. Rushing the shot would have reduced the chance of success to unacceptable levels. Lieutenant Colonel Anderson had been taking notes throughout the conversation, and he looked up with an expression of amazement. Commander, what she's describing represents abilities that exceed anything I've seen in regular military training. Commander Peterson nodded, understanding that he was learning about military abilities that existed at classification levels he hadn't previously accessed. But his curiosity was far from satisfied. Rivera, I want to see a demonstration. Can you show me what kind of perfect shooting is possible with your equipment and training? Maya hesitated before responding. Demonstration shoots required extensive coordination and safety rules, and she wasn't sure whether such a request could be approved through normal channels. Sir, a demonstration would require proper range facilities, safety coordination, and permission from my chain of command. The distances involved present planning challenges that would need careful planning. I'll handle the permission. I want to understand what American sniper abilities look like when properly used. Commander Peterson turned to Lieutenant Colonel Anderson with the kind of look that showed immediate action was required. Anderson, I want you to coordinate with range control and set up a demonstration shoot. Whatever Staff Sergeant Rivera needs in terms of range, distance, target systems, and safety rules, make it happen. Sir, the longest range we have available here is 1,200 meters. If she needs 3,200 meters for a proper demonstration, we'll have to use off-base facilities or coordinate with other bases. Then coordinate with other bases. I want to see what's possible. Maya had been listening to this exchange with growing concern. Demonstration shoots were serious jobs that required extensive preparation and carried big responsibility if anything went wrong. Sir, if you're determined to watch a long-range perfect demonstration, I would recommend starting with shorter distances to establish baseline abilities before attempting extreme range shootings. What distance would you recommend for an initial demonstration? Sir, 1,200 meters would allow demonstration of perfect shooting abilities while remaining within the safety and planning parameters of your current facilities. Commander Peterson agreed to start with a 1,200-meter demonstration, understanding that even this distance would far exceed anything he had personally watched. 2 days later, the demonstration took place at Base Freedom's extended range facility. Commander Peterson arrived with several members of his staff, all eager to watch perfect shooting that would help them understand the abilities that Maya represented. Maya had spent the morning preparing her equipment, including her Barrett M82A1, advanced scope systems, weather watching devices, and bullet calculation equipment. The setup process took nearly 2 hours, reflecting the complex preparation required for perfect long-range shooting. Commander, the target is positioned at exactly 1,200 meters. Weather conditions are perfect with little wind and excellent seeing ability. I'm ready to demonstrate perfect shooting abilities. Commander Peterson watched through binoculars as Maya settled into her shooting position. Her preparation was step-by-step and careful, involving multiple measurements and calculations before she even looked through her rifle scope. Rivera, walk me through what you're doing. Sir, I'm measuring wind speed and direction at multiple points between my position and the target. Air thickness and temperature changes affect bullet path, so I need current weather data for bullet calculation. Maya checked a small electronic device that provided detailed bullet calculations based on the weather data she had gathered. The process took several minutes, showing the level of preparation required for extreme perfect shooting. Sir, bullet solution has been figured out. I'm ready to shoot. Maya settled behind her Barrett, adjusted her scope settings, and began the final phase of her shooting sequence. Commander Peterson watched through binoculars as she controlled her breathing and prepared to fire. The Barrett's sound was deafening, even with hearing protection. The .050 caliber round produced a muzzle blast that could be felt as well as heard, and the rifle's kickback was big despite its effective muzzle brake system. Target hit center mass, reported the range safety officer, who was watching the target through a spotting scope. Commander Peterson studied the target through his binoculars, confirming that Maya had placed her shot within inches of the target center at a distance of 1,200 meters. The exactness was remarkable, but he understood that this demonstration was only a fraction of her claimed abilities. Rivera, that was impressive, but you're telling me you can make that same shot at 3 times this distance. Sir, longer distances present additional challenges, but the basic rules remain the same. The main differences are increased weather sensitivity and extended flight time that requires more sophisticated bullet calculation. Commander Peterson was beginning to understand that Maya's 3,200-meter shot represented the use of advanced technology combined with exceptional human skill. The demonstration had shown him that perfect shooting abilities went far beyond what he had previously imagined. Rivera, I want to see your complete service record. All of it, including the classified materials. Sir, accessing my complete records would require permission at levels above my clearance to discuss. Then I'll get that permission. Commander Peterson spent the following week working through the paperwork process required to access Maya's complete military records. What he discovered was a career that read like a collection of military legends rather than the service record of a single soldier. Maya had been recruited for special training while still in basic training based on shooting scores that exceeded anything her teachers had previously seen. Her later military education included schools and programs that most soldiers never knew existed, training her in abilities that pushed the limits of what human beings could do with perfect weapons. Her deployment history included operations in every major conflict zone where American forces had been working over the past 5 years. More importantly, her missions had consistently involved the kind of high-stakes perfect shooting that could determine the success or failure of entire operations. The 3,200-meter shot that had caught Commander Peterson's attention had occurred during a hostage rescue operation where Maya's perfect shooting had taken out a threat that regular forces couldn't address. The target had been holding hostages in a location that made traditional attack impossible, and Maya's extreme long-range ability had provided the only tactical solution. But that shot was just one entry in a service record that documented dozens of similar shootings. Maya had consistently been assigned to missions where her unique abilities provided solutions that no other soldier could deliver. Peterson, what you've stumbled onto is one of our most valuable strategic assets, explained Commander Diana Stone during a classified briefing about Maya's service record. Staff Sergeant Rivera represents abilities that we don't advertise because they provide big tactical advantages when properly used. Commander, why isn't this soldier being used at higher levels? Her abilities seem to exceed anything we're currently using in standard operations. She's being used properly. Maya's assignments are coordinated at levels that you don't normally access because her missions serve strategic rather than tactical purposes. Commander Peterson began to understand that Maya's quiet presence at Base Freedom wasn't a waste of exceptional talent. It was part of a larger operational picture that he hadn't previously been aware of. Sir, what kind of missions require 3,200-meter shooting abilities? The kind of missions where failure isn't an option and regular approaches won't work. Maya provides abilities that can solve situations that would otherwise require much larger commitments of people and resources. Over the following months, Commander Peterson developed a new appreciation for the kinds of special abilities that existed within the military structure. Maya continued her routine cleaning of the Barrett M82A1, But Peterson now understood that her quiet preparation was part of keeping readiness for missions that could have strategic results. 6 months later, Maya was deployed on a classified mission that required exactly the kind of extreme long-range perfect shooting that had first caught Commander Peterson's attention. The mission succeeded because of abilities that existed at the intersection of advanced technology and exceptional human skill. Today, Maya continues to serve in roles that use her unique abilities, providing solutions to tactical challenges that push the limits of what most people believe is possible. Her service record remains mostly classified, but her impact on military operations goes far beyond what any single soldier would normally be expected to accomplish. Commander Peterson learned that exceptional abilities often exist in unexpected places, kept by people who understand that quiet skill matters more than public recognition. Sometimes the most remarkable soldiers are the ones who clean their weapons carefully in the corner of the weapons room, preparing for missions that most people will never know happened. Have you ever discovered that someone you barely noticed had abilities that far exceeded anything you imagined? Maya's story reminds us that exceptional talent often works quietly, preparing for moments when extraordinary skill becomes the difference between success and failure. The commander, who barely looked at a soldier cleaning her rifle, learned that some badges tell stories of achievements that challenge our understanding of what human beings can do when training, technology, and determination combine at the highest levels. If you believe that exceptional ability often hides in plain sight, share this story. Because somewhere someone is quietly preparing for a moment when their special skills might make the difference between mission success and strategic failure. Maya Rivera didn't just make an impossible shot. She proved that some soldiers carry abilities that exist at the very edge of human achievement, ready to be used when regular solutions aren't enough. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, you can subscribe to see more incredible stories like